you have to be the engineer of your career. You have to build this. You have to understand how these parts work before you bring somebody else in to do it for you.
I'm KC Finey, and this is Creative Control. Each month, I'll be interviewing your favorite celebrities and creators to unpack what's at the intersection of creativity, business, and brand building. In this episode, a conversation with drag superstar Shea Couleé. Shea Couleé doesn't just do drag, she redefines it. From building her name on Chicago's local scene to snatching crowns on RuPaul's Drag Race and hitting global stages, Shea has become an undeniable powerhouse in drag and in the activism that's embedded within it. And now she's channeling her creative focus toward Hollywood, namely with her groundbreaking role in Marvel's TV show Ironheart. In this episode, Shea opens up about how she found her voice through drag, what fuels her creativity, the impact of drag on culture at large, and what she thinks is missing in the drag scene today. But to start, I wanted to get a sense of baby Shea, if you will. So I asked her, what is the earliest memory she has of doing something creative that had an impact on her? Hello, Shea.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm better now that I get to talk to you again. It's been a minute.
Oh
that
my gosh.
piece I did was years ago, but I'm excited to catch up with you. And on this podcast, I always love to start from the beginning with my guest. And so for you, I just want to ask, what is your earliest memory of doing something creative that had an impact on you?
Oh, my earliest memory of doing something creative that had an impact on me.
Because you're someone who I know has probably always been creative in a sense, but what is that one moment that really stuck with you?
You know what? It would probably be when I took a pair of cuticle scissors to my mom's wedding dress.
Oh.
And rightfully got an ass whooping by my dad after. But this act of creativity for me was like a replication and a reflection on the old original, 1962, I think, movie The Parent Trap.
Okay.
And
I was going to say, what was the vision? Because Wait, let me Google this. Let me see what you were trying to do, because this sounds like it would have been a mess.
Wait, because listen, okay, so in this scene, because I think, the twins in the original are 14. So they're at an all-girls camp and there's a dance with an all-boys camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them had already gotten in trouble and was not allowed to go to this dance. So I think it was the one Sharon. And so the other twin's name is Susan. And there's this scene where she backs up onto this patio and she's talking to this boy about oh my God, how much fun she is having dancing with him. And she's wearing this crinoline petticoat, really full 60s pink dress. And Sharon comes up behind her with these really huge fabric shears and cuts the back of it out, fully revealing homegirl's underwear.
Oh,
and
this is coming back to me.
Yes.
Okay.
And she walks back into the party just ass out, and everyone was gagged. And I loved that movie as a kid. I don't know what it was about it, but it just cracked me up. And so one day I was really bored, and my mom, she had her wedding dress hanging in my closet. And I know.
Oh, so it's her fault.
Because that was the tone that I was giving. And I'm not trying to victim blame. At all. But I mean, I probably would have put it in a safer closet than that of a 4-year-old. So I don't know, that's where you're going to store your wedding dress? I don't know. You begging for a trouble.
You know what? Much respect to her, but yeah, there could have been a better place in that home. So what about that was creative to you?
Because for me, I guess I was oh my God, I can take something and shift and change a piece of grand fashion immediately. That felt oh, this is how, in the deconstruction, I felt I was creating something anew.
Wow, I love that though.
And the impact was that I got a really hefty ass whooping for it. But it showed me how polarizing creativity could be, because I thought it was great. I loved my edits.
So that's So that actually leads me into my next question because I mean, I would love if you can just talk a little bit more about those formative years of you coming into your own as a creative. I mean, not to be using your government, but who was young Jaren back then?
Yeah, so I mean, I was always just, I wouldn't say in trouble, but like, the
How
internet
are you gonna
wasn't
spin
like,
this? Like you're like,
hmm
I wasn't like a baby's kid, but like it's
I was just like always running around, just like trying to have like a fantasy. Like, what is it that they call it these days? The live action role playing LARPing.
LARPing,
I was
yep.
doing that without even knowing what LARPing was. You know what I'm saying? I was just had so much energy and was just kind of like bouncing around the walls that my parents were finally like, we need to focus this child
Hmm.
with all this energy. And so they were like, do you want to try like doing the school play? And I was just like, well, yes, I would. That sounds like a great idea. And it was called A Jungle Out There. And I played King Leo the Lion.
Oh.
And there was something about that like first experience of like really having an organized space to perform in front of an audience and to get such good reception, even though it's just like a 9-year-old play. I was just like, I think I really like entertaining people. And so that just is something that continued to evolve because then when I started like doing theater in middle school, I began to make friends that were a little bit more creative like me, obviously queer people that I'm still friends with to this very day.
And I love that you brought up, being around, like other queer people, because I was going to ask, I mean, like, how would you say being Black and queer shaped you as a creative? Because those are two very powerful identities to possess,
I know, damn. It
right?
was hard because also they're two identities that sit outside the status quo. So
Yes.
I had to spend a lot of those early years just rationalizing a lot of inequality that I was able to observe because you naturally, as a survival instinct, I feel you become like very observant and very vigilant and become hyper aware of the world around you because you know that you don't fit into this mold. And so being able to meet other people and understand that your experience isn't as singular as you want to think that it is, that there is community because there are people experiencing and feeling a lot of the same things as you. And so being at that age and being able to explore this creative side that I just like love so much and then also have this sense of community where I didn't feel like such a terrible outsider. It was really nice.
I do love that. And yeah, I'm curious because knowing that you started in theater, like I know that's the origin story for many drag artists, but what was that transition from theater to drag? Which, yeah, of course, you can make the argument that drag is theater because it absolutely is. But why do we know you primarily as Shea Couleé, world famous drag queen, and not Shea Couleé, mistress of the stage?
I think that with traditional theater, there's still such a specific way that they want people to present. And I mean, actors get put in boxes all the time, and it just felt limiting. And I just wanted to have the ability to fully express myself because I felt like I still felt like that little kid bouncing off the walls. Like I still had all this creativity that I wanted to express. And I didn't feel like I had like a proper medium or outlet to express it. I just started seeing the girls doing shows at Spin,
Hmm.
which is not even around in Chicago anymore. I'm sure people are like, what? Yeah, that was back in the day, girl. It's so strange to be at this point in my life where I've lived through all of these phases and have seen institutions and bars and clubs come and go. But yeah, no, essentially like that was my intro to drag, just like needing
Hmm.
an outlet outside of this context of theater to just like really just like let it all out.
Right. And so for you, how did you go about developing your point of view in drag? Because I think it's more than coming up with a name and, signature makeup, et cetera. I think true artists in general have a point of view of what they're doing. So how did you develop yours and what would you say it is?
I guess my point of view is I really just wanted to express as much Black excellence as I could. Like I had the opportunity and the blessing to be surrounded by so many incredible, fierce Black women in
Mm-hmm.
my life. Like it's really, there's so many matriarchs in my family. It's crazy. Like the Black women in my family go hard. So like I felt like I had no choice but to model my drag persona off of like all the incredible examples of divine Black femininity that I had experienced all my life growing up.
Mm, that's beautiful. What has been your most notable evolution in drag, in your drag career? Because as you mentioned, you've been doing this for quite some time. And what would you say has been your biggest leap in evolution, so to speak?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's
I
just
try.
drag is this very, yeah, because drag is like a very liquid thing.
Hmm.
It doesn't even sometimes always feel super linear, your growth. There's moments where you even have to kind of like go back to former versions of yourself and try to discover pieces that you've may have left behind. And I know that sounds really like woo woo, but but
No, I
like
think that's actually kind of beautiful, though.
you know, in the same way that I feel like in a lot of culture and the discussions around mental health, we hear a lot of people referring to checking in and like healing their inner child. There's also kind of like this drag inner child that I think about, like who that person was at the very beginning and what they dreamt they could do. And there's this sense of endless optimism
Mm,
and this boundless hope that my drag will take me to places that I never could have thought that I would go. And it really did. This whole journey has been beyond my wildest expectations. It's taught me to really just trust in being my most, I hate to say authentic because I feel like we run that word into the ground, but almost like my truest and most honest self, like to me, of like what I need. Um, so as far as like evolving and what has felt like the biggest jump, I feel like it's been a personal thing in which I've learned to really just like trust my dream.
mm. That's a fantastic answer. You talked about when you're starting out having this sort of endless optimism and boundless hope for what your career could become, and you've certainly attained so much of that. And you have a long career ahead of you. We're gonna get into Ironheart in a second because that's a big evolution in your career overall. But it's really knowing that people of color, queer people of color, are in the crosshairs right now where it's hard to feel that endless optimism and boundless hope. So, how are you reconciling your ambitions as this Black queer artist versus what is going on in the country and world right now?
It's also a very good question. Ooh, because how am I reconciling that?
Hmm.
Child. Um, I try to continue to manifest positivity for myself and my community because, baby, I think about the optimism that I had even just in the beginning of my drag career. Like Obama was president. It was just like, you know, um,
Take me back. Like, that was such a
it was a
moment.
cute time. I felt like all this hope. I was like,
Hmm.
yes, baby, we
Hmm.
got this. And there has been such a shift. There is, at least I feel, a lot of instances of just censorship and pushback on like political and like just even just justice-based issues.
Hmm.
I sometimes feel like people make assumptions that because I participate in an art form that's really built around fun and frivolous, carefree lip sync extravaganzas, that at many times we can't have a voice outside of our chosen career. And
Hmm.
I feel like girls are sometimes too afraid to speak out on injustice. They want to just talk in their inner circles rather than utilizing their platform. And it's sad, but I understand because I even have conversations with other friends of mine that are really outspoken politically, and there are ways that we do see some, oh, okay, lightning pushback. Sorry. The sky is clear. That was
Oh
crazy
wow, you
though.
got
That's why
lightning with
I
the
was like,
clear. Oh wow,
yeah, no,
okay.
that's why I'm shook because like I'm literally looking at like the crispiest white clouds, like a Bob Ross painting.
No, God just giving you a yes. Like
She
God
really did punctuate that. I said, well, okay, bitch. Okay. That was crazy.
No, but I mean, I think you're completely right. And I would say, I mean, I appreciate you speaking up on a lot of these issues and using your platform because it's something that it's debated a lot. Artists and, celebrities and these people who have platforms, whether or not they should speak up on it, because there are some people who feel like that's not what I came here to do. I came here to turn the party. I came here to like,
Yeah.
give you a good show. And that's not what I'm not a politician, is what a lot of people like to say,
Yeah.
which I can understand. But I do think that it is very commendable for the people who do speak up. So I appreciate that from you.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm curious because you clearly, again, you've been doing this for so long. And I think you, the era of drag that you came up in was very much like, a one person show of getting everything done. But now we're in an era of drag where you need, especially at the level that you're performing at, you need to have a team around you. So I'd love to talk about what are those lessons that people can learn from a very seasoned drag queen such as yourself on building not only a brand, but building a business around that brand. Because it's one thing to be the brand of Shea Couleé that we know and love and all this, but then the business side of it is something that also needs to be developed. So what are some of those lessons in brand building, like just marketing yourself, that you can extract from your years of doing drag?
Okay, baby. So you got to be prepared to be able to do everything yourself and know the ins and outs of all of these different roles, like creative directing,
Hmm.
artistic directing, management, agency, merchandise. You need to understand all of these aspects in a very, at least fundamental form before you delegate to somebody else.
Ooh, that is a good point. Yeah.
Because you need to know that the job is being done properly so that you can achieve managing and building a successful brand. All the parts need to be working in harmony, and you need to know how those parts work. You have to be the engineer of your career. You have to build this. So you have to understand how these parts work before you bring somebody else in to do it for you.
More from Shea Coulee after this quick break. So we got a sense of Shea's origin story as a drag superstar, but now let's get into Shea as a drag superhero and how she entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like, before we get into your role in Ironheart, you were actually part of the Marvel Universe in a way. You were the inspiration behind the comic book character Shade, later known as Dark Veil. So,
Hmm.
for those who don't know that story, because I still think that that is such an incredible, that is such a big flex. It's even bigger now that, you're on this show. But to say that you had a comic book character based off of you in the Marvel Universe, like tell people how that came to be for those who may not know.
Yes. So Cena Grace actually created the character of Dark Veil. And what this character experiences is they are a really talented queen of color who goes on a national television show and then at a finale gets shaded and obliterated by their best friend and then falls into a deep, deep depression that pulls them into the void, if anyone's familiar with that for my comic book girlies. And it's a really deep, dark place, but then they learn how to harness the void and become Dark Veil, who's just like a really cunty, fierce drag superstar. And Cena just so happened to name me as one of the inspirations for the character. And so that was really, really cool because it sparked my interest in comics and graphic novels even more.
Mm-hmm.
I had like lightly dabbled in college and I had this like phase where I was just like, yes, but then I fell off probably mostly because I was putting all my money into drag.
Yeah.
Afterward, I was like, every free dollar I had went to a wig. So I wasn't buying many books at that time.
That's fair. That is fair. So tell people if they have not seen Ironheart yet, which is crazy. But like, tell us about the character of Slug.
Yeah, so Slug is a hacker extraordinaire that is on the run from Madripoor. They've settled in Chicago, and they're a part of a gang, so to speak. I mean, define criminal activity, truly. They are robbing the wealthy 1%.
They're Robin Hoods from the hood.
They're right. They're urban Robin Hoods. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, like
Yeah.
the girls are just, they're just, you know. So
It's not a crime.
right.
What's a little breaking and entering?
What's a little hacking? If you got a cute little set. Like, I'm helping you to understand that you need to up your cybersecurity, is what I'm saying.
Amen. See, there you go. It's just like, I'm here to test same things like your mom. You shouldn't have put this dress in my closet. Like this.
There you go. Full circle. It's just came right back around to it.
So how would you say this role stretched you as a performer? Because, you know, in many ways, like I can see this being kind of, you know, just something that you could easily just slide into, knowing that you've been a performer for so long. But performing for a scripted television show of this magnitude it is a different beast. So having gone through it, like, how would you say this has really stretched you as a performer?
It didn't. I'm not gonna lie.
Not the long pause. You really just like, no, I'm just that bitch.
It really, because, you know, I feel like they created an environment and trusted me to just show up and like, honestly, all the time, they were just all like, Shay, do your thing.
Okay, see?
Just do your thing. And they gassed me up like that. So it gave me the confidence to like go, like, first of all, because like this was like a Black woman
Right.
bringing it back. Like, I thrive in the presence of amazing Black women. And they were literally just all like, all the aunties and the cousins and all the sisters being like, go ahead, baby, do your shit. You know,
do a little dance, do a little dance.
It was very that. So I did.
That is such a unique environment to be in, though. Like to have that level of trust for someone who, yes, again, seasoned in so many ways, but not necessarily in, you know, on a TV show or something like that.
Yeah.
But for them to be like, we hired you for a reason, so do your thing is rare. You know, you getting on the show is one thing, but the character of Slug itself was this non-binary character that, you know, it's really just refreshing to see, especially coming from a big studio like Disney.
Yes.
I mean, and again, tying back to the point I made earlier about the moment that we are in this country, in this world of everything feeling like it's going backwards. So, I mean, where do you think we are now in terms of proper representation for these marginalized groups in Hollywood? People love to talk about it, but it always feels like it's this ebb and flow. Like people make the effort and then dial it back, and then they, try to make the effort again. So from your point of view, what do you make of this moment in Hollywood?
I'm really grateful that they were so willing to continue showcasing this queer Black storyline. I'm lucky that I was in some critical scenes because I don't even know if I could say this, but there are people that I know that were on that lot that were not in the final. And I'm just like, okay, that's an aspect of Hollywood. Because we've heard news about entire shows being filmed and they're just like, scrap it.
Of course.
That you can only understand how much was there for Ironheart. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Before I give myself into a show, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, I can't be spilling Marvel's tea. Like,
fair enough.
I said, they going to get me, girl. They going to get me.
So I kind of want to end with, you know, thinking about the art of drag, because I think that it's something that it's been so incredible to see how it has gone from this marginalized art form to being respected as it should have always been.
Yeah.
And again, as someone who has been in the industry before it blew up to the way that it has, I'm curious to hear from you. I mean, like, what innovation or what missing element of creativity would you like to see in the drag world now? What's missing? What would you want to inject in drag right now?
I want to see, because girl, I've seen all kinds of drag. I've been around the world. I've been in basements. I mean, I have seen it. You know what? On a collective community level, and not in a consumption kind of level, I would love to see just more general risk taking in drag. Drag used to be much more political than it is now. I benefit from it being commercialized and commodified and all those different
brand safe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I do miss those, and they still happen. But I would love for people to experience them more, these intimate spaces where people create some of the most incredible, thought-provoking, hilarious, gut-wrenching performances that would not make it past the censorship that is on television. I do love that it's palatable so that kids can still see drag in a specific context and understand that these are people that exist in the world, sure. But our general audience, specifically our adult audience, you need to get out, because it used to be that in order to see drag, you had to go out there and find it.
You had to know where you were going.
It was like Pokemon Go, you know? Like, you had to go and find the bitches. And that's what you know,
I get an image of you going like, let me find the bitches.
I
Where's
did.
the drag at?
Oh, girl. But yes, no, because here's the thing. It all started with Miss Precious Jewel, now Precious Brady Davis, who is the Chicago water commissioner, diva, trans, incredible mother, wife, all the things. Her and I had a 9 a.m. dance class, and she had clearly done a show the night before, and she does not even know how she impacted me when she came into that class. Still with the beat and the wig laid, I said, I'm gonna go find these bitches. I said, I need to see what they're up to. I need to see what the fuck they're doing, because it looks like it's a good time. And I was right.
Here you are.
I was right. I found her. I found Dita Ritz. I found Saya Naomi. I found all the girls. Miss Taj Mahal. Like, the girls were out. Aurora Sexton. Yes.
I love it. Oh, I can't agree more. I do think that, you know, it's the same way we look at, you know, different ratings for films. As you said, like, it's nice that there is, you know, the brand safe, sort of more palatable drag in the world. But
yeah,
let's see the rated R drag. Let's see that like more edgy drag.
Let's see the rated NC-17 drag.
Exactly. So I fully agree. And, you know,
and just creating those safe spaces for people to be able to do that, because they're going away. It's sad to see them going away. Places like Oasis in San Francisco, they just announced that they'll be closing at the end of the year. People consume drag in their living rooms and on their phones now, instead of going out to like these sacred queer spaces and seeing drag there.
Mm.
That's what I want for drag. I want for people to get out there and go see the girls.
Yeah.
I know it's comfortable in your living room. I know. And I know the drinks are cheaper.
That part.
But pregame, and then take an Uber or public transportation to where you got to go and go tip the girls, see the girls. Keep these institutions and bars and stuff open because they're going away and queer people need these safe spaces. They really do need them.
Mm-hmm. Shea, this has been so fun and so beautiful. I appreciate your time. This was a lot of fun. And
yes,
you gave insight to so much. And so I'm endlessly proud of you. I've been like cheering for you. Not that you need like one other fan, but like I've been like in the background being like, oh my God, go Shea.
Thank you.
Just incredibly proud of everything you've accomplished. And thank you again for your time.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you, Casey.
Wonderful. That's going to do it for this episode of Creative Control. As always, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and do not be afraid to leave a comment or two because it's always nice to hear from you. Creative Control is part of the Fast Company Podcast Network. Our show is produced and edited by Blake Odom with help from Sam Gebauer and Hawa Tori. Mix and sound design is by Nicholas Torres, and our executive producer is Josh Christensen. Stay creative, and I'll see you soon.